Another week and another roundup of shiny new bikes to share with you all. So today we've got a brand new Merida Scultura. BMC has a new alloy gravel bike. British bike brand J.Laverack have a new J.ACK titanium all-road bike, updated since its first launch in 2015. And we have a slew of new Shimano Di2 and Ultegra 12-speed equipped bikes to share with you, hot on the news of Shimano's new release earlier this week. So let's dive in. So the big news this week has been Shimano's new group set, with Di2 Di2 and Ultegra Di2 both getting the semi-wireless treatment, a 12-speed upgrade from 11-speed, and new hydraulic disc brakes. There is, thankfully for many of you, still a rim brake version, but there is no longer a mechanical version at Di2 at least. It remains to be seen whether there will be an Ultegra mechanical group set in the future. I have a hunch there will be, but more news on that in the future. So following that news, following the release, and if you missed it, link above just in case, loads of manufacturers have launched new bikes with the new group sets, and quite a few to share with you, so I'll just rattle through some of these new bikes and some really good looking ones, especially this one from Wilier. And fair play to Wilier, they really pulled out all the stops to celebrate Shimano's brand new group set, and also celebrate the fact, and this got lost in the release a little bit, it's been 100 years since Shimano launched. So they have a specially painted Wilier Filante SLR, just 200 bikes will be available, and the paint job is sensational. I'd happily own this bike based on looks alone. I know the Filante SLR is a top riding bike, aero, smooth, fast and lightweight as well, and it looks absolutely stunning. The new finish is called the Unico, and Wilier gave a Japanese artist who goes by the name of Yan Inoue, apologies if I messed up the name there, total creative freedom to design a custom paint job, and he used the ancient art of Japanese calligraphy brought up to date with modern graffiti urban art influence. The bike is duly specced out with Shimano's brand new Di2 Di2 12-speed group set and Willier's own deep section carbon wheels, and looks absolutely breathtaking. There's no price on this yet, but like I said earlier, there will be just 200 available. So if you want to get your hands on this very special bike, definitely be quick getting down to your local Wilier dealer to put an order down for one, and I'll see you down there. At the other end of the spectrum, Canyon has also launched some Di2 equipped bikes, and first of all is this Mattia van der Poel Special Edition Aeroad CFR. So custom paint finish, some nice little details, a nod to his personality in this bike, and of course the Di2 Di2 12-speed group set with a set of deep section DT Swiss wheels and a price tag of well over £10,000, so pretty special. There's also an ultimate CFR and a more relaxed enduro available as well at slightly more modest prices of about £7,000 to £8,000 as well. So more details over on the Canyon website. Closest to home, for me at least, Mason Cycles has released the Resolution with a Di2 Di2 group set. So this is the company's steel framed 4-season road bike, disc brakes, wide tyres, mud guards, the perfect year-round one bike to do everything. And in a similar vein, Fairlight Cycles have issued their Strael version 3. I reviewed this bike a little while ago, link above if you missed it, with the same Di2 Di2 group set as well. And it looks pretty sensational with the gloss black group set on this bike. There's also an Ultegra spec version as well. No price on that yet, so price will be confirmed in due course. Pinarello have also launched their new Dogma F with a brand new Di2 Di2 group set. No price on that yet, but I'm sure it'll be fairly lofty and probably well over £10,000, probably about £12,000, because that's the price the bike launched with the old version R9200 group set a few months ago. You might see my video on that, link above. BMC also have a Team Machine. Scott have their Addict, and Orbea have their Orca as well, but no price on those bikes yet. But best thing is to check their websites for prices when they are launched. As for availability, well, Shimano is saying October. So for these bikes, it could be October at the earliest, but probably even later in the year, maybe into early 2022. So plenty of time to start saving. Away from Shimano's brand new group sets to some other bikes, and BMC has finally launched an aluminium version of its Unrestricted gravel bike, or URS for short. Now, many of you will know I spent quite a bit of time on the Unrestricted platform over the last year in two versions, a cheaper SRAM model and a very top end £8,500 build SRAM Red E-Tap Eagle mullet setup. And you might see my videos on those, link above and down below if you missed them. And on both bikes, I was super impressed with the performance. So you get nice progressive geometry, longer, slacker head angle, and then you get nice long wheelbase, and you also get the soft tail rear end and the elastomer providing 10mm of rear suspension, not really suspension, but cushioning from all the impacts, and some very smart details, bigger front rotor, internal cable routing. Up until now though, it was only available with a carbon fibre frame, which kept the price fairly high, it has to be said, and definitely kept it out of reach for quite a few people who like the idea, the performance this bike offered. But now BMC have addressed that by issuing an alloy version of this bike. Lots of shared technology, but quite a few interesting details that make the bike kind of different enough to appeal to a different audience to that high performance carbon version. So carbon frame has made way for an aluminium frame, making for lower prices. Most features are carried over, like the geometry, including the slack 70-degree head angle and long reach. But the chain stays are 5mm longer. That might make for a more stable handling, but potentially less agility in the turns. There are also more mounting points for racks, mud guards and bags, which makes it a bit more versatile and adaptable than a carbon version. There's also less internal cable routing on this model compared to the carbon one, which would definitely satisfy a few people who don't like the idea of internal cable routing, especially on a gravel bike, where easy maintenance is definitely an attribute many people look for in a gravel bike. There's also a round seat post rather than a D-shaped one on a carbon model, which might impact comfort, but you can now fit a dropper seat post. Perhaps the biggest change, and potentially the biggest disappointment, is that the soft tail or rear end from the carbon model hasn't been carried over to the alloy version, which is a real shame because that soft tail was a really defining feature on that bike, gave it incredible smoothness and comfort on rough gravel. Now, I presume the reason they haven't done it on the alloy version is probably price, get the price lower, and maybe also because aluminium can't bend repeatedly like carbon can in that controlled way that removes the need for pivot hardware like you normally need on a full suspension bike. The new bike will be available in 3 models, priced from €2,000 up to €2,500. So just 3 models covered by €500, so quite a small compact range. But on paper it looks good. Some interesting changes to bring the price down, more accessibility, more versatility, but we're losing that soft tail and some other changes. And really, I can't wait to ride it to see how it compares to a carbon bike and see how it compares to other bikes in this price category. So that's the new BMC Unrestricted, or URS for short, with an aluminium frame. From gravel to high-end road race bikes, Merida has a brand new Scultura, which if you're paying attention to any road racing over the summer, you might already have seen in action. Not the best kept secret. The same with Shimano Di2 and other bikes being released this year. We saw it before it was announced, but today it's officially been announced. The Scultura is the company's lightweight, all-round road race bike, the bike that does everything, a bit like the Tarmac or the Amonda. They have the Reacto, which is a pure aero road race bike. You might see my review on that, link down below if you missed it last year. This new Scultura though has been working out in the wind tunnel, so it's more aero than the old bike. It's also lighter, and they're claiming improved comfort as well. Lighter, stiffer, aero, yeah, you know what it's all about. These bikes are always better than the old version. Lighter, stiffer, more aero, and more comfortable. That's what you want from improvement. I know many people like to joke about these claims from companies, but that's how bikes have got better over the last 10, 100 years. They don't often make big leaps forward. It's refinements and gradual evolution rather than a big step forward that you occasionally get with material changes from carbon, for example. But yeah, that's the general gist of this new bike. Anyway, let's dive into a bit more detail. This brand new 2022 Scultura Team bike was first introduced in 2006 and has come a long way since. This 5th generation model is acclaimed 38 grams lighter. It's now 822 grams for a side medium frame, down from 860 grams. and comfort has been improved by virtue of a new bike providing space for 30mm wide tyres and a new extended seat post to provide more flex at the saddle. Meanwhile, it's more aero thanks to a new one-piece handlebar setup with internal cable routing, along with a new fork and reshaped head tube, and lowering the seat stays as well as most new bikes do. All the changes lead to a claimed 10-watt reduction in drag over the old bike when tested at 45 km/h, needing 224.5 watts rather than 234.5 watts of the old bike to maintain that speed. And if you're wondering how it compares to the Reacto, it gives away about 10 watts, which is not much, but the gap is really close between an aero bike and a once lightweight only bike. You have to wonder how long before the gap really narrows to a point like with Specialized show for the Tarmac SL7. It's hard to maintain a gap between an aero bike and a lightweight bike, and you can't have one bike that is good in both aspects. If you want to find out more about models available and equipment levels and prices, check out the Merida website, linked down below. And finally, back on home soil, UK bike brand J.Laverack has updated its J.ACK titanium all-road bike, first launched in 2015. Now, the UK isn't short of small independent bike brands that specialise in one or maybe two frame materials, steel, aluminium or titanium. And when J.Laverack launched back in 2015, they specialised only in titanium, and they still only specialise in titanium today. I was actually at Road CC when they launched the J.ACK. I think I was the first journalist to ride a bike, and I was super impressed. And it's worth remembering, back in 2015, disc brakes were quite a new technology in the road bike market, and the idea of a four-season all-road bike with space of wide tyres, mudguards, racks and disc brakes were quite a new idea. Mason were doing a similar, and a few other bike brands as well. And a big step forward from Audax and touring bikes that came before it. They sort of grew from that Audax touring DNA to a much more modern focused bike using the latest technology, tubeless, tyres, disc brakes, you name it, lots of mountain bike influence as well. So this new J.ACK celebrates its 6th birthday with quite a few refinements. It's not a major redesign, but a few tweaks here and there to bring it fully up to date, make it a really appealing and interesting choice if you're in the market for this sort of bike, especially here in the UK, the 2nd of September, well into that sort of autumn season, winter is just around the corner. This is the time of year when this sort of bike is a perfect choice. Mudguards keep you nice and dry in the rain, more comfort from the frame, wide tyres for long winter rides. There's a brand new head tube design they call Streamline, and a new threaded bottom bracket, both of which help to integrate the brake and gear cables inside the frame. Not only does it give beautiful clean lines, but also keeps cables away from road grit and rain. There's also a brand new carbon fork and carbon seat post that can hide dynamo cables inside, which are popular with long distance cyclists, one of the fuss-free benefits of batteryless lights. Each J.ACK is made to measure, starting with a professional bike fit and a geometry meeting the requirements of each rider, with a size range from 44 to 64 centimeters catered for. Then there's a raft of finishes to choose from to personalise the bike the way you want it, and a choice of equipment including all the usual Shimano and SRAM options. Prices start at £2,775 for a frame set, and full bikes start from just over £4,000. So it is a lovely looking bike, and I love the attention to detail and some of the refinements on the bike over that original bike I first rode 6 years ago. I can't believe it's been 6 years ago. Probably about time to get a new one in for review, and hopefully, watch this space, there will be one coming on the channel very soon. So plenty of reason to subscribe by hitting that red button down below. Anyway, that's all for now. Let me know which of these bikes floats your boat by leaving a comment down below, and stay tuned for more new bikes on the channel very soon. Thanks for watching, and see you very soon.